Thriving through my divorce. 2007, I got married to my ex husband in Sri Lanka. And almost a year later, 11 months later, I reached Canada. And my violence or abuse started like I got to know my ex husband the day I got married. After until the day I got the married registration, marriage registration, I didn't see anything problem. But the after soon after that marriage, I saw the real color of him. So one thing at that moment, during that time in 2007, I wanted a partner who doesn't smoke. So whoever I contacted, I made sure that they are non-smoker. So I asked my ex-husband, "Do you smoke?" And he said, "I I hate the smell of the smoke." So I assumed he doesn't smoke, and I never met him. I was in Sri Lanka, he was in Canada, over the phone, and we got married. And he came to Sri Lanka to marry me, and it was couple of days before the marriage, and nothing, no problem. But then the day he got married, he started to smoke, and I was shocked. And I asked, "You said you don't smoke." And he said, "I never said you I don't smoke. I said I don't like the smell of the smoke." So that was like kind of a surprise for me. And for him it was no, he didn't do anything wrong. So I didn't know what to do, because divorce is impossible in Sri Lanka, and I don't know. So I thought, okay, let me go to Canada, and then we'll see from there. So I went to Canada, and again from the airport, because I had pimples those days, my acne. So when I met him at the airport, he didn't hug me or anything. He just started to walk, and I was, even he didn't take my luggage, and I was shocked. There was no expression of any because normally I get, even my male friends, they hug me when they meet me. But after 11 months, my husband meets me and he walks away without even, saying hi. So I just followed him, and I was shocked. So that moment I thought, okay, it's going to be harder. So then I was house arrested. I was not allowed to use phone. I was not allowed to contact my friends. I didn't have Facebook or any social media. My email was checked by him. So I was basically, and I didn't have any money. We had a joint account, which he had the bank card for it, because I already sent my UK account money to him. So I think for that reason he made a joint account. To make sure that that for that money. So there was nothing, but I was his wife, and I knew, according to the Bible, I come from a Christian family. You have to submit yourself to your husband. So that was inside me. No matter what happens, I have to be the obedient wife. And also our ancestors, my grandmother, my mother. So none of them, they never talked back to the husband. So the men were so abusive. My mother was manipulative. My grandmother, all of them, they cried. So they were doing their way of showing their rejection, or rebellious, but it is in a very subtle way. Nobody were assertive or to say you are wrong or I don't want, nothing. So for me, that my way also was same like my grandmother and my mother, just to be obedient wife and serve my husband. So I wake up in the morning, and before he leaves, I have to give him the coffee. So one day I had my periods and I said, I can't get up. He got angry at me. So physical violence, beating was happening, but for me, it's like, okay, I'm his wife. He has the right to do anything he wants. So I didn't make it a big deal. And I one day I cooked, uh, I fried potato because I love potato. So he comes home and he's like a police dog. He can smell and find out anything and everything, even a small change he can find out because he's a OCD. So he said, "You can't cook in this house when I am not there." So my cooking was stopped, and basically I can only cook when he is there, and I can only cook what he tells me to cook. Then one day he comes home and he removes all my clothes and puts it in a black garbage bag, and throws it away, including the sari which I wore during my graduation. And I kept quiet. I didn't fight. And this is, the problem I had while I was there. I allowed him to abuse me. So I have to clean the house on Fridays thoroughly because Saturday and Sunday he will be at home. But most of the time he goes to work. So um, I clean and he will come, and we had this glass table, and he will come and look at the table, because if you look like that it will be perfectly okay, and if he looks like that there might be a dust which can't be seen in your, and he will beat me. So basically, beating for everything. You don't know how to cook, you don't know how to clean, you don't know how to wash clothes, you don't know how to iron. And I'm like, I kept quiet. I didn't know how to react, how to answer. And eventually, because I couldn't function on my own, I was just doing, my brain started to shut down. And I was so, I'm a medical doctor, and it was so sad to see that I couldn't make a decision on myself. Even I couldn't think. So I came to that level. And then 2009, so almost after an year, um, August 15th, it is a Mother Mary's feast day, and I wanted to go for the feast. And when I expressed my desire, he beat me severely that I had stomach pain for 3 days. And that was the wake up call. I just felt like this is not right. So until getting beaten, uh, having the stomach pain for 3 days, I was foolish. Like I couldn't even see that there was a problem happening. So I started to look into uh, for help. Like I started, what is this? Even as a medical doctor, I didn't know it was domestic violence because it has been in our family for generations. Men attacking, verbal abuse. My father was more than my husband. So for me, I felt like I have married my father again. So, physical abuse was not in my original father, but my family members used to do it for their wives. So I have seen an uncle kicking his wife, and I have heard an aunt talking about how his husband takes the belt and beats her. So that also kind of a part of our family. And emotional abuse, yes, of course, because one of my uncle, he makes us to wait. Like for food, even his wife, she will wait and he never comes and takes. Even my father has done it for my mother, and shaming the woman front of everybody, calling them by names. So this has happened in my own family. So I have grown up seeing all these things in my family, and again all of that came into me, into my life as one. All these men who I have grown up with became one man, and for me everything was normal. So then the real journey started to find about the domestic violence. And again 2009 December, I was severely attacked. It started at the church car park, and then it continued in the house, and he pushed me in the on the floor, and I was like kind of escaped narrowly. On that day, I could have died, or I could have become paralyzed. So that night I decided to leave him, and I left. But before I left, he used to carry all my documents with him. So I didn't have, a way to get them. So my passport, my PR permanent card, my social insurance card, everything was with my ex-husband. And then, so eventually, at the end, with the help of police, I was able to put him into jail, and I was able to get all my documents back. And 2013, I got my divorce. But it was a journey to escape from him. And because of that, I have to even escape, because he had death threats on me. If I leave him, he will kill me. If he sees me with another man, he will kill me. So because of those death threats, I couldn't stay in Toronto. I have to move to Montreal for my own protection. And it was really a hard journey.